We start in elementary school, maybe third grade, not too sure. A good friend of mine offered me to have a sleepover at his house, and I never had done so before. He was my best friend at the time, and his name was. I felt nervous as I was always a shy kid to go somewhere out of my comfort zone. Meeting his mom and exploring a friend's house, and then she shows me some of his games like Mario Galaxy on the Wii, Naruto game. Probably one of those Storm games. I really don't remember, gotta be honest. But there was one game that struck me as the most interesting game. A game that would change my childhood forever. Something to help inspire me in many ways more than one. Something that would free my creative mind and give my dreams a reality in any ways I can think of, as my mind was limitless. This game was known as Now, if you don't know what Little Planet is, Little Big Planet, or LBP for short, is a physics-based platform side-scrolling game that sparks from the idea of creativity and imagination, with levels in the story mode that gives you puzzles and platforms to overcome, and the aesthetic of it is just amazing. It's like using household or items or like random objects kids or anyone for that matter would use to create characters or landscapes, ships and buildings and all. Speaking of ships, the main lobby has you in a cardboard ship, with the controls being the PlayStation 3 controller. And as a kid, I thought this was the coolest fucking thing ever. The story mode of the first Little Big Planet game was simple and not a crazy compelling story. It was more of a bunch of side missions connected, and yet that's all a kid really needed. Just was something simple yet fun. And cool background characters, looked very comedic and wacky to make the platforming and puzzle solving more entertaining. But what makes the game more enjoyable as you're playing the levels is the music. Now granted, most of it is copyrighted songs from underground artists, but they fit with the levels aesthetic. So much you'd have to go listen to the OSTs on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not gonna show you. I don't want to risk getting copyrighted. But when you do listen to it, the songs are either so goofy yet calming and brilliant, breathtaking even. Such sweet sounds. But the music that the game studios made are just as good sounding as the copyrighted ones. They even expand the levels theme even more. But what makes Little Planet such a pinnacle part in gaming history is the creative mode. My god, the creative mode is where anyone can make any levels or mini games using the objects, paints and tools given to you in the missions or levels that you complete. They're like little prize bowls. But when you're making levels, it's not like in a Mario Maker way where it's just, Mario themed. You can always make something using the Mario gifts, but that doesn't really help. But instead, as each installment of the Little Planet games, you gain more tools and objects to make more than just mini games or small levels, but sometimes even games within a game. This is what a sandbox game means to create or imagine a form of what you want. Anything. But what makes this even better is you can upload your levels that you created and have your creation in the community where everyone can play and comment and like it and enjoy it, play many times as they want. And not just alone, but you can invite your friends to play with the dive-in system, where it allows you to, just join in with your friend that's on. And obviously this was back then where games were just as enjoyable online as it was to enjoy it at the same house. You know, we can go over. You don't have to just play online. You can play at home with your friends or family, because that's what Little Planet was about. It was not just a simple game, not just one game, not just limited to one friend, but a community to make more friends, to make worlds, make memories with those around you, and dream up whatever you can imagine. But Little Planet 1 was just the tip of the iceberg, as Below the Depths was far more to come over the years. In 2011, as I was picked up from school from my dad, we went to go pick up my cousin as well, as our family was gonna have a little hangout. You know, typical Mexican stuff. My cousin, who y'all have actually seen in my videos before. My god, this is a big hill. How does anybody get to this house?
Fuck lives in the woods.
He came into the car excited saying, dude, guess what game I just got, bro? I just traded my other game for this one. Bro, it's crazy good. And back then, I thought the idea of trading a game was kind of crazy. Like, why would you want to, you know, trade a game that you just bought with, you know, a different one with somebody else? But then he pulls out Little Big Planet 2. I knew I had played the first one with my friend back in like 3rd grade or so, maybe around that. But he hadn't moved away, so the rest of elementary felt different, and I had forgotten about Little Planet to begin with. So as soon as we got to the house, we loaded it up, setting our childhood minds to a blaze, as the second installment was far more greater than the first. A lot of my memories back then was whenever I visited my cousins. We were, you know, playing outside, maybe playing some Halo and other games, doing whatever, right, goofing off. But the first thoughts of our time together was always Little Big Planet, and specifically Little Big Planet 2. It consumed our lives and our thoughts and ideas. We loved playing this game always. We were like playing it when, you know, times when we should have gone to bed, or like straight after eating, or right after playing outside. Just come in and just start playing Little Planet 2. We did so much together in Little Planet 2. Like, we'd always thought of ideas to make new and cool costumes. One of the biggest things for Little Planet for me was with my cousins. Because for my cousins, it was almost like I didn't play with friends in Little Planet. It was the majority of the time was with me and my cousins. My cousins were like my best friends. Obviously, they're more than just friends because they're family. But that's how it felt. We're like, it almost didn't have a lot of friends, but my cousins were always there. And when we would play Little Planet together, it was just perfect. And as to why this game was such a huge part of our lives as well, well, the game is what any sequel to any IP in any form should be. Whether it's in movies, spin-offs, new seasons of a show, books, games, whatever. So what makes a good sequel is adding to what makes the first one great by having innovation, expansion, and similar ideas of the first. For example, Little Big Planet is all about creating, right? Well, the second game does the same, but adds new tools. Like the grapple hook, the grabbing hands, vehicles, that sit down thing, much more that I can't even I don't even remember the fucking terminology of, because there's so much stuff that they added there that advanced the create levels even more. What also helped make it a good sequel was the story mode. As the first game's story mode wasn't all that interesting, it was more entertaining than compelling, but for Little Planet 2, the story shows more cutscenes as actual characters moving and talking, and voice acting, and even a real villain, as the first one wasn't, you know, he was interesting, to say the least. The second one's villains far more villainy like. Now with these new characters added, they help Sackboy in this resistance to try and defeat the Negativitron. A vacuum. Yeah, he's a vacuum. A vacuum that's powered by negativity and sucks all things creative. But with the help of the resistance, Sackboy has nothing to fear. Because we have Larry Da Vinci, a paper mache looking cool dude with a beard and 3D glasses. Sick as fuck. Victoria Von Bat. Why does she look like that? Why is she built like that? We got the best character, Clive Handforth. Weird last name, but I love his design. Look at that eraser body, paperclip arms, notebook head. What more don't you not like about him? There's nothing like to hate about him. If you don't like him, just get out. Avalon Centrifuge. He's just a normal Sackboy dude, but I like his charm. We got Eve Silva. Oh my god. Why is she built like that? Oh, and her insane patient, Dr. Herbert Higginbottom.
I have been on a journey through layers upon layers of mind flowers. I was wrestling and then I'm tumbling and everyone's smiling at me, except they didn't have faces, so they weren't really smiling, but I marvelled at the pleasant upholstery. There were all these geometries, fractal star worms, competing for my affections, and they were amazed when my eyes were pies.
But as you've noticed, these characters are all uniquely designed with everyday or household objects, and as unique as their designs are, so are their personalities, all funny, kooky characters. Yet voiced with such joy and entertainment makes playing these levels more fun, and wanting, more to complete the game and defeat the Negativitron. Now, the story isn't some complex, exciting lore, but for what makes a good game and for any story game is how fun it is. How much joy and entertaining the story missions was, gameplay and all. And in my opinion, Little Planet has the best story missions for having the most fun, like in any game. Now, after defeating the Negativitron once and for all, you save Craft World and you're all having a happy ever after. With the goddamn best ending credit music ever. Holy crap, it's so good. And too bad I can't play it all. Jesus. Fuck YouTube, man. Sometimes I just want such a good song. But the best part about LBP is how even if you finish the story, it's not the end of the game at all.
Dear PlayStation, we just finished Little Big Planet 2 and I just...
No, you didn't.
Huh?
You don't finish Little Big Planet 2. You may think your Sackboy's adventure is over, but every day thousands of new racing, action, and sports games are loaded onto the PlayStation Network that are better than bacon-wrapped cupcakes.
Wait, so if there's always new stuff, how do you know when you're done?
You don't.
Community levels, of course, are back, and it's the core of any LPP game, with better tools added to create mode. And oh my god, community levels have never been better. More puzzles were better to make, levels with more fun, more shark survival and plane survival bombs, the whole schnaz. But one of the best things added was people can make levels not to play, but for story creating. There's a couple people on YouTube that had made short movies or sketch, which added more charm to the LBP community. So now it's expanded from playing the game to watching skits or short movies on YouTube as a full-fledged movie. And of course, this was around 2011, 2012 or so. So I mean, some of these missions were right for the time. And I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Yes, Jeff the Killer running or chasing you was the pinnacle game. Me and my cousins played a lot. It's even on my channel when we played it 2 years ago. And my god, that game mode is just so much fun. It's so good. I don't even know how to I don't have any words to explain how fun it was back then playing it. And even the 2 years ago for my channel, it was still just as fun. My cousins and I always had fun, playing this game. But what enhanced our gameplay together was making stories for ourselves with the characters that we made, with the costumes that we, made for our Sackboys. Whether it was, going to school for RPG levels, on the community levels, surviving a plane crash. But I'm sure other people did the same as us, making little stories with our characters. Because that's, part of the beauty of Little Big Planet was you can imagine and create anything with anyone to be whoever you want. Now, the majority of our childhood was playing Little Planet 2. I got to play Little Planet 1, but not as much. But we never touched the spin-off games. We didn't have a PSP, or we didn't really know about them until maybe later. So I won't be able to talk about that, though I'm sure they were just as fun as some people say. But when a trailer came out for the long-awaited Little Planet 3 came, me and my cousins were nothing but excited. Now, let me just clarify. I know the original studios that made past Little Planet games, Media Molecule, was being, I don't know, I guess they were bored of this game, and I don't know, they went and did. Now, I don't know the whole story with everything about this. I'm just gonna give off my compassionate feelings for this game, but I am still gonna give off little information that I know. So if there's more that I miscorrectly say or anything, just correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I know the original studios that made the past Little Planet games, Media Molecule, I guess I don't know, something happened, they were being bored, and they dipped for the third one or so. But they left the IP trusted to different game studios that made the third one, Sumo Digital. And I think they're Tarsier Studios, I believe. And yes, I know there were some issues at the game at launch. It was terrible to most people. But one of the biggest reasons why it was bad was because of the amount of glitches and bugginess it had. But from what I know and can understand was that Sumo Digital was on a time schedule, and they were being rushed by Sony since they knew that people wanted another Little Big Planet and fast. They were rushing Sumo Digital instead of just letting Sumo Digital take their time to perfect the game. They were being rushed, launched the game when they weren't even ready for both the PS3 and PS4. And even on the PS4 was the game a bit buggy. So sadly, a lot of people felt butthurt, moody, as some of the feelings could be valid. But me and my cousins were always fortunate enough to not have lots of bugs or glitches. I think the only one that we really experienced was when we kept trying to get on the Little Planet 3 on the PS3 version. Every time we would start up a level or anything, we'd get the infinite loading screen. It was so annoying. We would go downstairs, have a full course meal, take a shower, and come back, and it'd still be loading, which was so goofy. Now, Little Planet 2 will always be my favorite of the 3 games. No matter what, the gameplay, the story, the missions, even the music, everything about it. Little Planet 3 music, story missions wise, it doesn't top it. But the third one was just as good, and I understand a lot of people hate for the game. Like, I heard there's the criticisms outside of the glitches. I still believe it's a little unwarranted. The create mode has added even more stuff, as they should, that helps advance the community levels even more, but nothing too crazily changing, at least not from what I remember. It has been a while, but it was still just as fun as it was before. The story mode is a little weaker than LVP2's. What did help was they actually were able to talk to you while you were playing the game. Because in Little Planet 2, when they would talk to you, it was only through cutscenes. But when you're in gameplay, it would sound like Lego people. While Little Planet 3, they would still be able to talk to you during cutscenes with the full voice acting and not Lego people. The story mode even added, more gameplay and tools to use, including with more characters as well. The story mode even added more tools for better gameplay. You could also even use those same tools for the create mode. And they added more characters to help in the story mode with even just as good designs as the last ones. Now, the biggest feature for this game and the biggest selling point was more sack things. You have Oddsock, a dog-like sack thing that can run fast, jump and slide off walls. Got Toggle, a heavy, strong sack thing that can break certain materials but with small attitude to him. He's faster, jumps higher, and run on water. Last but not least, Swoop. We got Swoop. He's a bird, flies, and swoops and grabs you. Now, sadly, from what I've seen, I haven't really seen them be used a lot in the create levels for Little Planet 3. You gotta really keep digging to find the usage of them in the levels, that community levels that people make. But the levels that I did find where they were used in, oh my god, were they so good. It was the craziest thing. It's crazy that 13-year-olds were creating this, and I couldn't create anything just as good. But back to the story though. These new guys help you on your adventure in a new world called Bunkum, where you get abducted to by Mr. Newton over here, who wants your help to release the Titans, thinking they would help him. He gets possessed, and now you and your new friends must defeat him and save the new world Bunkum. And as for the gameplay of the story games, to me, they felt short, but nonetheless, still fun and entertaining. The aesthetic was not my favorite, especially the swamp one, but my favorite one would have to be that Russian one, and of course the music always cooks. It's always good. Music is always gonna be just as good. Each Little Planet game has such good music. Oh my god, and my favorite song is in this mission. I think it's called the song is called Steampunk. My god, it's so good. Overall, Little Planet 3 has had some mixed reviews. It felt a little flat to the community, though me and my cousins enjoyed it every moment of it. Although we hated the stupid color change of your puppet. I hated that they show a color, like which color, like it'll say like white, but then it's not white and all of a sudden it's blue. Like, it doesn't make sense. I hated that. Like, why did they do that? That makes no sense. Besides that, community seemed to, grow into the Little Planet 3 system and would continue to play and create. Even if we won Little Planet 4, nothing could stop the community, ever. On September 16th, 2021, the servers for Little Planet 1, 2, and 3 on the PS3 version were shut down permanently due to some ongoing issues at the time because of some hackers messing up the game for everyone. I don't know what the full story is, and I don't even think they told us the full thing. All we know is something with hackers, apparently. This was sad news for everyone. It sucks. Now, at the time as well, fortunately, they updated Little Planet 3 on the PS4 to with some other technical issues that they had for LPP 3. And for the PS4 version, at least, Little Planet 3 servers were still up and running. And what was cool was that all of the Little Planet, games, they have a system where you can save and update your levels. You were the ones you created, you can re-upload them. So luckily, almost every level was saved onto Little Planet 3. So, like some of the Shark Survival ones, all the way from Little Planet 1, saved. And you can still play them on Little Planet 3 at the time. It was the biggest clutch ever. But the unfortunate news of the first 3 games on the PS3, it left a bitter taste into the players. To have to watch the first, at least the first 2 games crumble away. Not to be played, unless you want to do nothing but play the story missions all day, but that's all you can do, really. And it sucks. It took a dark turn for the LVP community with such a small victory for a bitter aftertaste. Left for us to sorrow, and hopefully Little Planet 3 was here to stay. Thank God for that. Ah, damn, that was the worst. And it really sucked. But it was pretty big clutch for Little Planet 3, and I'm glad that, people were able to still play for as long as we did. That's why I was able to play the games a couple years back, and I'm glad I was able to upload them on my channel before more and inevitable news started coming up. So it just kept getting worse after that, because on April 19th of this year, the servers for Little Planet 3 on the PS4 version were shut down permanently. This was no doubt the most soul-crushing thing to see. Nothing can top the downfall of a game like Little Planet. It's insane how quick it happened too. And it wasn't any player's fault, unless like the players, were the hackers, which I assume that's what happened. But it was too fast, and it seemed like Sony wanted nothing to do to try to help it as best as they could. They let it wither away like nothing. This game brought joy and creation to everyone since 2008. And as we grew up, we lose our creative and imaginative minds as adults. So this announcement for the permanent shutdown of Little Big Planet 3 felt like our creative minds just faded forever. All those levels and games that the communities made just gone. I know some people figured out a way to save some of them to play on, like, on PCs and stuff like that. But the extent to play those is a lot to do. And not everybody can just go in and afford a PC like that. But from what I know, and even then, it's a lot to do. And what sucks as well is that it's not every level was saved. There was about 10 million plus or more levels that were made over the years, and only some of that was saved. Sure, maybe a very, very small clutch by the community, but this is little to nothing. And it really just won't feel the same again, because you really can't create more levels anymore. Little Planet was such a pinnacle of gaming, bringing creative minds alike and making mini games, funny levels, short movies, cool and goofy costumes for people to wear, and everybody was just able to make friends, play together, even in the story missions. Time of joy and laughter, imaginative entertainment, all of that gone. No warning, no 3 hours heads up, no month heads up, no 10-minute countdown, just gone with one post. It's not even bittersweet at this point. It's just straight up sadness. It's like losing a friend that was there for you, slowly being forgotten. Like my friend back in elementary school who showed me the game in the first place. I don't remember his name or what he looked like. And it's sad, and unfortunately it's fading the same way Little Planet is. Honestly, that was probably like super dramatic, but that's just how I feel. And I know I'm a sensitive person, but I know the feeling seems mutual to anybody else that's played Little Planet back then, or that had even continued playing it up until this year. We all feel somber and a great empty feeling for this game because of it not being active anymore. It feels just as empty. But who knows, maybe Sony can save it, or the community can pull through, or maybe Media Molecule can come back and help the servers, or maybe it'll help, like if they make just Little Planet 4, you know, once and for all. But who knows what can happen. And I know those that grew up with the game are around the same age as me or older. I know these games are like childish, you know, like why are we feeling this sad for, you know, some little childish games? But why should we let our creative minds go out? Keep the fire lit, keep our imaginations alive. Our minds are little in size compared to this world we live in, but whether we dream alone or together, our minds can grow and expand to do great things regardless of the game can make a comeback or not. It's what we do in our general life that we can grow as a community, because this game is what helps make and grow friends together. And the purpose of this game, it's more than just an entertainment. It was a place for friendship, create something we love or enjoy. So thank you to Media Molecule, thank you to Sumo Digital, Tarsier Studios, thank you to those that made the levels, because I know I couldn't make any, and thank you to the community of this beautiful game. This game will live on, because to truly die is to forget, and this is something to live on through our memories. So thank you. We will have our memories, our creative minds, forever expanding, growing our own little big planet. Thank you to those that stayed watching the whole thing, if you did. I know, hold on, just give me a second, I'm almost done. But this video means a lot to me. It was a really important game for me, an important part of my life. And I know some people are like, you know, it's just a game. I know some people are going to tell me that after this video uploads, but this game was there for me and my cousins when we needed, you know, an escape, or it helped with our creative minds, with what we wanted to do, expanding quote unquote our lore from, you know, Legos or toys to the game itself, to kind of nowadays. It was there, you know, it showed how much fun we had as kids, and it was an important part of my childhood. I know it's all melodramatic, it's all super, you know, cheesy, but it comes from a place in my heart. I'm just so compassionate about this game, and honestly any other games that I've played that are, you know, just as fun with this game. But this one meant a lot, and it sucks the way it just disappeared. But this video allowed me to make a more serious video than usual, as you know, almost all I do is reference memes and jokes around. But to be fair, let's see how I edit this video to find out how much of a joke this one might be. But you know, like I said, whether I joke around with reviews or game videos, this video it makes it different, you know. Like I wanted to make it a bit different in a good way. So again though, thank you for watching this from beginning to end. So please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell to not miss any of the videos I upload. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, or if you want to add or comment your thoughts on my video, please comment down below. And I'll see y'all next video. Thank you for watching. Later.